What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another live stream. Happy to be here today, especially on the company of Roman from the PHP Foundation. Welcome to the stream, Roman.
Thank you, Nuno. Thanks for having me. Hi, everyone.
All right, chat. Let me know if you can hear Roman correctly, if the level of the sounds looks okay for you. And indeed, we have Roman today, works for PHP Storm. It's also part of the PHP Foundation and everything. And today, I have some questions to Roman, okay? I have some questions. I want to know everything about the PHP Foundation, about the PHP internals, but also I want to discuss with him the things I want to see on PHP 9 and the things he wants to see personally on PHP 9. So before we start, I would like to say welcome everyone to the chat. Duka10, Dave, welcome to the chat. Dreepen Castle, nice to see you again. Jonas, welcome to the stream once again. Ed Milson, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for being on that side. And today is just, a wonderful day to speak about PHP. I hope everyone is having a wonderful week. And yeah, we obviously presented Roman, but if you don't know me, my name is Nuno. I'm a PHP developer, also a lot of Elcore team member. And if you watch me, give me that like, that subscribe, and all those cool things. I want to get started by Roman, basically talk a little bit about you, So I know you work for PHP Storm. Can you elaborate a little bit on what you do at PHP Storm?
Yeah, sure. I will start a little bit before that. So I used to be a PHP developer for like 10 years or so, and then I was super active in the community during talking, writing on Twitter, and doing posts and doing Telegram channel and lots of other stuff. And then JetBrains at some point reached out to me and asked, "Hey, do you want to do that for us? Just work at PHP Storm team." And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of PHP Storm. That's basically my dream job." So I joined JetBrains, and I started my title was product marketing manager. So I was doing marketing for PHP Storm, and many things that I was doing, they were technically marketing, and even the PHP Foundation at some maybe capacity you can call it marketing for PHP Storm. But
gotcha.
Of course, it was a community project, and I did a lot of community work, and I was super passionate, and I'm super passionate about PHP. So yeah, that's what I did. I basically looked for cool stuff that community needs, and I was doing that. So whenever I saw something, I was just doing that. And at some point, there was a situation. Oh yeah, we actually hired. I don't know. Do you guys remember? So Nikita Popov. Yeah. That's I think one of the things started. So for me, it was 2018. I think I saw Nikita's tweet that he was saying that, "Hey, I finished my study and I'm looking for a job or something." I saw this tweet, and I came to my manager, JetBrains, PHP Storm team lead, and I told him, "Hey, let's just hire him." And it was a no-brainer. So we hired Nikita. He worked for 3 years, and I think was like super great time for PHP. Nikita was doing lots of cool stuff. It was just, and then but he was like a super young dude, super talented. We knew something like it's not a healthy for any open source project to have like one contributor. We wanted to have like more ideally. And then Joe Watkins, he wrote a blog post about like this bus factor problem, like saying that, hey, we only have 2 people working on PHP paid. It was Nikita and Dmitry. And that's how the PHP Foundation idea came to life. We started. I reached out to Joe. We started talking, brainstorming how to do things, what to do with this, like how do we start this PHP Foundation, because it's actually, if you the fun fact, it was not the first attempt. So before actually the PHP Foundation, there were at least 3 attempts to do foundations.
Wow.
And even one of them was actually attempt by Rasmus Lerdorf, the creator of the language, the author of the language, and those didn't work for different reasons. Those didn't work, but so we tried, and this attempt finally worked. And I can go like deeper and
Yeah,
how that.
I know, but there's a lot to impact here because you spoke about a lot of names, a lot of people,
Yeah,
and some
yeah,
attempts. So let's unpack some of this. So, by the way,
sure.
Shad, Roman just mentioned he works on a marketing section of PHP Storm. He's part of the board of the PHP Foundation. So, if you want to express your love for PHP Storm, now it's the moment. And by the way, Roman, pretty much every single stream, we have pretty much like 80% of the people is using PHP Storm. So everyone is like, thankful for the work you guys do at PHP Storm. And you mentioned as well that you sponsored the work of Nikita Popov on PHP during these years where there wasn't a PHP Foundation. So, Chat, we are going to unpack a little bit what is the PHP Foundation. Just be mindful that before existing a PHP Foundation, someone was developing PHP, okay? And obviously, Peak and Flow, thank you so much for the cheer of 100 bits. Thank you so much for your support, dude. By the way, Chat, if you want to support me, all the money I get from this, I just reinvest the money on the stream. So Roman just mentioned two names that existed before the PHP Foundation that were maintaining PHP before the PHP Foundation. He mentioned Nikita Popov and Dimitra. What is the second name of Dimitri?
Dmitry Stogov.
Stogov. All right. Yeah, I wrote it correctly. It was ChatGPT auto-completing, so I was a little bit concerned. DivDev just subscribed. Thank you so much for your support, dude. So Nikita Popov and Dmitry Stogov they were basically maintaining PHP back then. And Nikita Popov was one of the main maintainers, which apparently came out of studies, and then he was sponsored by the PHP Storm team, the PHP Storm. Also, I mean, part of this came from you as well, right, Roman? This idea of sponsoring Nikita, right?
Yeah, exactly. So Nikita, he was actually he started doing core development for PHP when he was at school, and but God. Then when he was just a schoolboy basically, and then he started in the university, and his PHP was his passion, and he one of the first biggest features that he contributed was generators. So it was in PHP 5.5 time. So this was his first big feature, and then he contributed here and there every now and then. And then when he finished his university, we were happy and lucky to have him on board in the PHP Storm team. And basically, what we did is like, dude, you're doing great. Just work, just do your stuff. You know what you're doing.
Just between us, me and Roman, like, don't you think that it's kind of crazy that a language that is powering multi-millionaire companies out there, including stuff like Facebook and whatever, was currently kind of maintained by this guy, which is like a kid in school?
It is crazy, dude. I mean, it's like PHP is such a miracle in many ways. It was and it's incredible. I think it's the power of PHP. Like,
that's true. That's true.
So sometimes random people work on it, and it brings so cool things. And we'll talk about later, like who is working now on PHP.
Yeah.
It's so find different. Out that it's crazy. It's so different, but still, it's just so many different people from with different backgrounds, ages and everything, and it's the best,
I mean, so obviously we are thankful for PHP Storm, for you actually having, this idea of sponsoring Nikita, because during that years, we actually saw a lot of features coming to PHP. That was thanks to Nikita's work. By the way, chat, if you don't know me, my name is Nuno, PHP and Laravel developer. Today, we are with the company of Roman, developer and marketing as PHP Storm, but also member of the PHP Foundation, who maintains PHP. And we're talking a little bit about the story of the PHP Foundation. And later on, we are going to talk about my wish list for PHP 9, but also the wish list of Roman potentially in the future. If you watch me on YouTube, please give me a like there, okay? Give me a like, follow me as well. I have YouTube videos every single day at 1 p.m. and I'm streaming on Twitch at 9 p.m. every single day. All right. By the way, on chat, we saw a lot of people showing love by PHP Storm. Okay. So we have Vidim saying PHP Storm love. We have Pick and Flow saying PHP Storm for life. DickieDev, PHP Storm for life as well. And, a lot of people as well expressing the love by Joe Watkins, who is or was a part of the PHP Foundation, right? Or is still is?
Currently, Joe has health issues and he's not able to contribute as he did before. So, if you
Oh.
want to support Joe,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he has a campaign running on the GoFundMe.
Mm-hmm.
You can find it, yeah, on Twitter. I guess I reposted it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you want to support him, yeah, Joe did lots of great stuff for PHP.
Oh.
He worked in partner with Nikita as well,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah. So
Roman, can you
he
mind of putting the link on the chat so then I can share as
sure.
well on YouTube and everything?
Yeah.
And the best wishes for the health of Joe, of course.
Yeah. So and he was um, basically he was one to help establish the foundation, because I
Wow.
reached out to him and he helped to do all the things. So yeah, the link is on. I posted on
Yeah.
chat. Uh,
All right, Chad, I just shared the link across Twitch and YouTube. You guys can, click on the link, read more about this Joey's story and the problems he's having apparently with his health, and we can potentially, help to his cause. Pinkin Flow, thank you so much for gifted 2 subs to viewers. All right, so we had this story around Nikita, and I want to try to understand. Like, you just told me that it was 3 attempts of making making one PHP foundation. So obviously the reasons why we want to make a foundation, they are kind of obvious in my opinion. But I want to know, like, what prompt this 4th attempt to be successful?
Okay, I mean the idea was, yeah. So we want PHP development to be sustainable. So we want there, as you said, there's so many companies and businesses relying on PHP. At the same time, there are only 2 people getting paid to support it. And I mean, yeah, just adding some syntax feature is fun, but you need to do maintenance, you need to fix bugs, you need to do security fixes, and all of that. It's many times it's not fun at all. And it's actually hard work. And you cannot do it, after your full-time job. You come home, and it's hard. So we wanted to have like a sustainable future for PHP, and that was exactly the idea. I mean, for PHP Storm specifically, it's a huge market. We wanted PHP to strive, but also there are many other businesses that rely on PHP as technology and that care about PHP. So that's what we did. I reached out to different companies that I thought have like vested interest in PHP, and it was WordPress. So I messaged Matt. It was Laravel, of course. I messaged Taylor and Symfony, the packages, the Drupal. I messaged Tris from Drupal and Zend. And there was in total was 10 companies. I just forgive me if I forgot some, like,
It's all right. Yeah.
It's so I reached out to them, and all of them were like, yeah, they supported the idea right away, because they understand, like, yeah, we need to do this. So I think what worked is that first thing we wanted to do is secure money and do things lightweight. So we didn't even have like a real entity for the PHP Foundation. It was working on, and still is working on Open Collective.
Gotcha.
And so we wanted to bring value, get money, and bring value. So that was our, I think, key to success. So that's what we did. We secured money from these founding companies, and then many other companies joined. And then we found developers, basically those who already contributed to the language, and we paid them. And they started slow, so all of them started as part-time developers, because they had their other jobs. But this year, actually in 2024, this is, I think, when we actually gained nice pace, because we already have like 4 people working full-time, and now they learn, they gained a lot of experience, and now we can see, like, yeah, if you take a look at PHP 8.4, this is the results of our work, with many new features, lots of cool stuff, and lots of cool stuff coming. So
Man, I mean, amazing job, I have to say, right? When I first saw the PHP Foundation, my first reaction was like, why this took so long. And as you say, as you were saying, like there was no structure, so someone had to take the initiative of basically, all right, so obviously everyone wants that PHP becomes and gets successful over time. We need someone to maintain this because all our businesses rely on this. We just need a better way of basically, aggregate this money that businesses have to create some sort of PHP Foundation that supports all the development. And I was just basically copy pasting something from the website. Apparently, it says that the PHP Foundation contracts 10 part-time and 10 full-time developers who work on the maintenance and new features for PHP, which is way different from what we had in the past, which apparently was just Nikita almost, right?
Yeah.
So very impressive work. And I was just noticing on the website as well that we have, financial support from a lot of companies, JetBrains, Craft CMS, Laravel, Automatic, private packages as well, Tideways, and many more, right? Obviously, I just shared the link, by the way, on the chat, and we can see a little bit more about, about this initiative. I believe the only way of supporting this is not only via Open Collective, or it's the only way of kind of making donations for this.
No, we also accept GitHub sponsors, so you can do that via GitHub sponsors as well. It still ends up in Open Collective balance. But
and I see that the budget is like fully transparent, open finances. Everyone can see where the money is being spent, which is pretty cool in my opinion.
Yeah. So we are fully transparent. Sometimes it works against us. So, for example, let me explain. So now we have a balance of like 600 unspent, and some companies are like, "Yeah, but you have money. Why would you need more?" And the thing is, that's how we have money for when we have budget for the year, and so. And this money is like a buffer for this year, so we need.
I got you. You want to do the things right, the things in the correct pace, so everything, so everyone can keep trusting you guys in the future. Because it's not only 2024 that needs to exist. It's like for the next decade, probably, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're thinking about. So, okay, we can spend all the money in 1 year, but what's next? That's not the sustainable thing. So that's exactly what we're thinking about. We need to. That's not 1 year thing. It's a ongoing initiative, if you say so. And so if you go to the structure page,
let's go.
You can actually check who we hire. This is the board. And below, if you scroll down, this is the 10 developers.
The 10 developers. So the board makes decisions. Okay, we have this amount of money. Let's make sure we are expending the money correctly. If, possibly evaluates if the team is, going in the right direction. Potentially see if there is a need for one more hire or not. Gotcha. That's the board, right? And I can see people that I know, Sebastian Bergman, which, by the way, was already on my YouTube channel, folks. So if you guys want to see a little bit, me discussing a little bit with Sebastian, you can go to my YouTube channel, which is literally a discussion, about the story of PHP Unit, how past PHP fits on that, and what Sebastian thinks about PHP Unit. We have Joe Watkins, which, as you mentioned, have an open campaign right now to collect money to help on this health. So I just shared the link on the chat, by the way, as well. And I can see a lot of people that I know. Niels from Packages. When I say no, it's more like I know who they are, but I don't know them personally. It's more like that. So Niels, it's you as well, part of the board. We have Sarah, which I have seen a lot on podcasts.
Yeah, she's a lead of she used to work at Facebook, and she was lead of HHVM project, which was a Facebook internal virtual machine for PHP.
Yeah.
So she's a very she contributed to PHP a lot. So it was a no-brainer to have her on the board.
Gotcha. And we have Nikita Popov, which I know that Nikita is like now working on other stuff, but still advice for the board, I believe, right?
Yeah, exactly. Gotcha. So he doesn't join like every board meeting, but whenever we need his advice, he can jump on and help.
Gotcha. And then we have the 10 developers you were talking about, and I cannot say that I know everyone. So we obviously have Dimitri, which is this is a community part. Okay. So 10 developers are these ones, right?
Yeah. So Derek, you may know Derek as an author of Xdebug.
I already have a couple of beers with him. He's a very, very cool dude.
Yeah, exactly. And he's, I think he's the most experienced developers on the team, because he started contributing to PHP like, I don't know, 2 decades ago. And
I used to see his streams on C. They were very cool. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it was streams on Twitch about C. I loved it. He stopped doing it though.
He did these streams about writing PHP extensions, and I think I think it was a really nice. I think you can find some recordings on his YouTube channel.
Yeah, but I watched them all.
Yeah,
they were fun. Yeah. So okay. And I saw also Gina, which which I don't know. Okay, yeah, and I saw Gina on PHP UK, I think.
Yeah. Gina is from UK, so you could see her on PHP UK, but also on Forum PHP in France, and there are some other conferences. Gina does lots of stuff, lots of refactorings, lots of like cleaning up stuff, but also maintaining documentation. So lots of things.
And we have James as well from I know this dude as well.
Yes.
The other ones I don't think I do. But I'm pretty sure they're talented people. Yeah.
I mean, James, and he currently he's working on this Pi thing, which is a new extensions installer.
Oh, okay.
So basically the idea that we like, the vision that we have is let's make PHP extensions like first-class citizens in the ecosystem, so that now you can install any composer package, right? Just add it to your composer JSON as a dependency, and then run composer install, and you have it. With extensions, it's not that clear. So you kind of can add them to composer JSON, but you don't necessarily have to. And when you installing them, you have to deal with Packle or do it somehow other way and hope it works. But with Pi, all the extensions will be, or they already are. Most of them are on packages, so they actually look like just usual composer packages. They all have composer JSON file, and now you can install them sort of like a composer package. It's not yet as good, because it still relies on the PHP interpreter on your system. So
because it's Symfony console, right? It's still Symfony console.
Yeah. But and the problem is not about that you need a PHP to run it. We can technically you can pack it as a binary script with just glue with a static PHP, and you have binary. But the thing is that you install extensions per your PHP interpreter. So if you have a system PHP interpreter, then it will install system. But on your different projects, you might want to have different extensions, and then you need to somehow think about different PHP interpreters for those projects. Okay, we went deep technical. Maybe
no, it's fine. It's fine. I have actually tried Pi already locally. It seems cool. It seems a good project. I cannot say that was the kind of dude who had problems installing extensions. But it seems a cool project. I'm seeing as well that we have the community section, which contains 5 people, including Rasmus, which was the creator of PHP, of course. Which I would love to see Rasmus' opinion about the fact that now there is a foundation around PHP, when initially probably the guy developed the language to have his personal website.
No, I mean, he was he gave us his blessing. That's
oh, he did? Nice.
Yeah. So I reached out to him initially, and he actually donated to PHP Foundation, and he said, you probably basically he said we had attempt to run it, it didn't work out, I hope you succeed, something like that, and he was supportive at the beginning, but I think right now he's more retired, so it's not participating a lot.
Gotcha. All right. So I do want to talk a little bit about the current RFC system, if you don't mind.
Sure.
By the way, Chad, if you don't know, there is a website which I use quite a lot, to be honest. It's called the PHP Externals, which is kind of funny because I mean we always have heard that this is kind of the PHP internals thing, but it is this externals.io which I use to actually see the conversations on the browser. So I don't have an email. You know this website, right, Roman?
Yeah, absolutely. I use it all the time. Yeah,
you use it all the time as well. All right, chat. If you don't know, I'm going to share here on the chat real quick about this externals.io, which is the place that I use to follow the PHP's discussions, basically. And here was the place where when I have first done my first RFC to the PHP world, this is the place I would follow the RFC and see what people think about that. But also, like, if someone does an RFC, I can pretty much see the entire discussion on this website. So I have a question for you, Roman. With your experience, do you see the current process of RFC changing in the future to something a little bit more approachable to someone who doesn't know, like that the current system works via email?
Yeah. So maybe let me just tell how this works right now. So
yeah, for people who don't know, that's a good idea.
Yeah, back in the day, people used to use mailing lists to discuss things, and it was like common thing back in the day. And PHP, all open source project did that. So, and PHP is no exclusion. PHP did that, and at some point, the people just discussed stuff on this mailing list, and then I think it was roughly 15 years ago. They started like giving it a little bit more structure. So this RFC process came up. So basically, for any language change, you need to create a special document called RFC.
It's more like a framework to formalize the thing, right?
Yeah. Gotcha. And then people discuss this proposals on this mailing list, and then vote for them, and then how the features end up in the language. But the problem is that the communication channels changed over time, and right now many people don't even use mailing lists or don't even know mailing lists. And also mailing lists, they don't have many very convenient features of modern communication channels. Like, for example, reactions. Like on mailing list, if you want just support the idea, but you don't have exactly additional input, you have to write an email and saying, yes, me too, or whatever. Whereas on some more other things, you can just do some thumbs up. And this is just a small thing. There are some other things, like, for example, editing your message if you made mistake, or like dozens of others. And so what I personally feel is that with staying with mailing lists, we're lacking fresh blood. So young people just don't want to learn mailing lists. And it's as a
I must tell you, like, I mean, I'm not super smart, but I consider myself someone like normal, and I find like the process of sending RFC was like so complicated. I actually need someone to actually help me out. Was Gabriel, I think.
Oh yeah.
Gattuso, or
he was a release manager of
So I had a call with him. He was like explaining me, okay, you need to send an email to this email, but then when you answer, you need to put like on the end of the thing. And it was like so confusing. And, it was kind of, even if I want to do like a quick reply, I was like, no way am I going to my email and just, So, gotcha. So do you envision like, there is currently any work in progress to improve this, or?
Yes. Well, okay. Yes and no. So the yes part. Okay. So this problem has been discussed many times and raised on the mailing list many times. And some time ago, Larry, Ilya, and we started experimenting with some new platforms, and we actually tried Discourse, and I actually did even research what other popular open source projects and languages use as a communication platform. So most of them use Discourse. It's not Discord, but which is a chat. It's Discourse, which is more like a forum. And and half of them use GitHub. So this.
Oh, okay. So GitHub literally via thumbs up and stuff like that, or
just GitHub repositories and GitHub pull requests, GitHub discussions, the different, but just GitHub as a platform. And so we experimented with both. And actually, what I wanted to say, so there is a discourse instance of the PHP Foundation. I'll share it with you.
Yeah, and I can put anywhere really. You can put it on the chat if you want to, and we'll just copy paste.
So actually, it's more like an experiment. But if you open it, it actually has a mirror of mailing list. So you can actually use this discourse to read mailing list, kind of like externals.
Only read at the moment, right?
Yeah, only read, because it was experiment to read it.
Oh, dude, that already feels like 1,000 times better than we had before. Exactly. Like literally, at least now I can click on stuff, go to the end, potentially answer right here. You know, exactly. 1,000 times better what we had. You know, and, so if you go to this, we have my thumbs up.
Yeah, and it even has a mobile app, which is super convenient. So I like externals, but I also use this thing, Discourse, just for myself to read it, and it's really great. So this was one thing, but we also experimented with GitHub as well. Try to use we set up like fake test repositories and RFCs and discussions, trying to use that. So far, the consensus is that looks like. Oh, it's raining outside. I was trying, like, where is the noise coming from? So far, the conclusion that we came to is like, looks like Discourse is much better choice and has more flexibility.
There is a problem with GitHub, which I hope Discord solves, which is on GitHub you cannot actually have threading, for example. So I can see something like this become a mess real fast, because if you have a long discussion, for example, the last thing you want is like, do not understand where this answer is to, like, or trying to pick the context of this answer, you know, on the parent, you know, replies, which can be very complicated. But yeah, I got you. And I feel like I see you guys are moving in the correct direction of experiment with these platforms, potentially, you know, continue experimenting, at some point potentially just discuss an entire RFC on this platform to see how does it feel, right?
Yeah, exactly. We wanted to do that. I mean, why I said yes and no, the no part is because we had like more urgent problems, so we switched to some other things. So this one is a little bit on pause, but I hope we can pick it up. And
it's a question of priorities, right? I get you.
Exactly. And
just go ahead. I apologize.
No, someone wrote that Discourse is awesome. The only issue is not written in PHP. LOL. It's true. It's a Ruby project, but we don't mind. I mean, it's a good tool. Why not?
Yeah, Python and Ruby are brothers. We should be, you know, happy about that.
Yeah.
All right, chat. Some questions in the chat. By the way, if you have any questions, you can put them on the chat. I will go all the way up and just read the questions and find the ones that I think make sense. One of the questions that I just saw it make sense is that someone just asked, what is an RFC? So as you can imagine, like during the years, the PHP language have evolved a little bit. For example, we had like closures, which you know looks a little bit like this. You can do, you know, literally something like looks like this. But you know, sometimes you want improvements on this current syntax, and what you can do is an RFC, which is a request for comments. Okay, so RFC stands for request for comments. So someone wants to, you know, improve this syntax, potentially make it like a short closure, for example, you know, so people can just do an RFC, which is literally a request for comments, and asking, okay, I think the syntax can be improved. It should look like this. And what people do is that we have this, let's say, PHP Internals voters who come to the feature trying to understand if there is a problem with the feature or not, and everyone agrees with that. And if everyone agrees with this, they basically approve the feature, and it comes on the next major version of PHP, ideally. So I see a lot of people asking for feedback regarding generics. Okay, could you give us a quick update regarding the state of generics on PHP?
So yeah, well, we invested a lot of time in research. So, and we published. So the result of this research was this blog post that we published on the website. It's quite a big blog post, goes deep technical into different different ways of implementing generics. So the brief summary is that you can have like proper generics with runtime type checks, basically as we have with other types right now. And this is quite complicated for many reasons. So and specific, there are a few problems with doing that. And the other way doing is to not runtime check it. So just erase them and just use them for static analysis, but have them
like Python does, right?
Yes, exactly, like Python does. So Python has these generics and everything, but those are just text. They don't do anything. They don't check the types. They're used only for static analysis. So and there are different opinions which way is better or not. But the erase types is something that can be implemented, but it actually has also problems because it introduces inconsistency. So then some types will be checked, the other types will not be checked, and then also the problem with PHP is that some these types that you have there, they not only check the type, but they also change the type. So it gets a little bit tricky. But with there are actually some things that prevent having real generics, and those are, for example, references in properties, or, for example, not having a system of like modules, or like they have the modules in Java, for example, and PHP doesn't have modules. So right now there is discussion of modules, and in theory, if modules end up in the language, then they open up opportunity for having generics. So, and then the other one thing that mentioned here is having collections. So one of the applications for generics is collections.
Yeah,
and
the most common, right?
Yeah. And well, collections, actually we can have generic collections quite easily with this syntax or some other maybe way of defining them, but this actually can be implemented quite easily. So having like generic collections in core, this is easy thing. But having like real object generics, like generic generics, that's quite complicated. So with this post, we actually wanted to have some like feedback, like people, like what do you think? Like this is what is in theory, this is the state. Like give us your thoughts. For example, if we go the way of erased types, there are interesting consequences of that. I actually like the erased route because it simplifies the language, and simplifying means also more simple maintenance. But also, if you think about it, we already have super mature static analysis like PHP Stan. It's pretty great. It's really a great tool, and so you can actually, if your code base is quite nicely typed and everything, you can check the types with static analysis, and then just drop all the type checks, just all of them. And then what it means that then you will actually have some performance gains from that, and then you actually can have generics. But again, there are cons for this approach as well. So what I'm saying that the topic is quite complicated with generics.
And just to explain a little bit to the chat, like when you work with languages like Java or C# or others, those are compiled languages, meaning that types are basically checked at compile time, so they don't affect the performance of people are actually using the software. While in languages like Ruby or Python or PHP, is pretty much runtime type checking. That's what we do with strings, with integers, those type pins that we talk about regularly in our streams. And the challenge with generics is that sometimes computing, like if a generic is correct or not, it's like quite intensive, and doing this in runtime can lead to some performance issues. And that's why we have this concept of erased types, basically, which is they exist only on the source code, but they are not actually checked at runtime. So yeah, Roman, I do understand the problems with this. I don't have an opinion on this already because I probably would have to read more about this. But I do understand that it's not an easy solution, and probably there is no perfect solution as well. and we need to come up with something that makes sense for the language. Something we don't want for sure is a mistake, a huge mistake for the language being entered, and then we end up with something which is even worse than before. So I appreciate the efforts, studying this problem and trying to understand if this problem makes sense to be fixed, or maybe it doesn't make sense to be fixed. Just to make sure everyone understands, there is a language called Go, which took years and years to have generics, and it's made by Google. So you guys can understand like how this problem is, is a deep problem to solve. Okay, there is a lot of people talking about concurrency in PHP, asynchronous PHP, a lot of different topics. However, chat, today I have Roman for 1 hour and 1 hour and a half. So I want to kind of also talk with him about my wish list that I want to have on PHP 9 or PHP 10. Before we do that, if you just arrived to the stream, because we have quite a lot of concurrent viewers at the moment, I want to tell you that my name is Nuno. I'm a PHP and Laravel developer. And if you watch me on YouTube, please give me a like. I've been noticing that a lot of people watch my YouTube videos and lives, but they don't put a like. So if you are appreciating the stream and the time we are putting into this, give me a like there and also a follow. I am publishing videos every single day at 1 p.m. If you're watching me on Twitch, I'm streaming every single day at 9 p.m. And you can also follow my work over there. If you're watching me on X, go to YouTube or Twitch, because X, as a live stream platform, it's just not the best. Okay. That being said, Roman, let me check if I want to speak with you about anything else before moving to my wish list. Actually, no. Well, I have other topics, but I want to make sure that I have time to speak about my wish list. Okay. All right. So
that's good.
What is my wish list? All right. I call this topic moonshots for PHP. Okay, which is kind of the stuff we want to see in PHP. So I want to show you something that I really like, that I would really like to have in PHP. Okay, so by the way, Roman, I'm going to just tell you, I have wrote already 2 unpublished supersets of PHP in the past. Okay, so I've wrote in the past when I was super young something called how was it called? PHP Plus, which was literally a superset of PHP, and he had stuff. This is the funny part. He had stuff that currently we see on PHP, like read-only properties and short closures and all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
I remember.
And I made the second attempt, not that time ago. How was it called? The project? The project was called with the initials of my wife, which is Ice and Epsilon. And this second attempt was way more successful. We actually, typically the only thing that wasn't working was PHP Storm itself. But I still didn't saw the value on it in terms of, I don't think it makes PHP that much better to actually be published. And to just avoid any discussions, I actually didn't publish, but the project is huge. I probably should make just that open source at some point. Anyway, some of the stuff I had there was something called short methods. Okay, I don't know if you know what this is already. Probably you know, because I've seen already some RFCs on this topic, but I want to get your opinion. So something I would like really to have on PHP, and you guys let me know, okay? You guys will be the voters of my RFC today on the stream, okay? Just say yes if you like the feature, and you say no if you don't. Okay, you guys ready? So the first thing I want to see is literally this little thing. So instead of typing public function get name, for example, okay, which will return a string and blah, 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 blah. Instead of having this, you would literally have this. Okay, come down, just literally this. Which is kind of borrowing the syntax of short closures and bringing them to PHP. All right, chat, yes or no? What do you guys think? And Roman, what do you think personally of this? You probably have seen this already on the RFCs, right?
Yeah, I mean, with getters, have hooks, which actually support this. So you kind of sort of have this for like simple stuff. For more complex, like I like it personally. I like it. I like the short things. I also remember your RFC about like multi-line short closures.
Yeah,
and it totally makes sense to me. I wanted to bring this topic back again, and I did the research.
We are going to bring that topic after this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I think you need like to add some justification for this, except for maybe it looks nice. So that's how it usually works with RFCs. You need to do a little bit of effort, like saying, okay, this many projects in PHP use this bigger syntax. So look how that would be nice for them to have this short syntax. And for me, it's I really like this. It's such a small thing that just makes things nicer.
All right, Chad, I guess we got an yes. We got an yes here. So yes from Roman, yes from the chat as well. We had one no, though. But, because this is a vote, the majority wins. So I guess that was basically yes. All right, let's go to the second one, okay? But Roman mentioned something very important here, which is you really have to show to the maintainers, but also to the voters, like how much this actually improves the syntax. Because something we always need to keep in mind as the PHP developers is that other people may not know the language. And if we give them like a bunch of different syntax and a bunch of different way of doing things, this can complicate things. That's why people sometimes think that JavaScript is just too magical and whatever, because there is like a billion or a bazillion different ways of doing things. So you want to be careful about these things. All right, second RFC I have, Roman. Okay, it's called optional function keyword. Okay, so what I would love to see is this is exact syntax. All right, Chad, you guys ready? You guys say yes or no, but without the function word, the keyword, without the function keyword, just literally this. So basically remove the function from every single method, because I can kind of infer that this is a function, because I have literally the key, the visibility, but also the parentheses. So this tells me it's a function. So I don't see a reason why we would have to have the function keyword. And I get this one might be a yes or no, because it might be difficult. So what do you think, Chad? All right, we have some no's already. We have some no's. How about you personally, Roman?
My first thought is, could it be there's some like ambiguity, like syntax-wise, maybe?
Potentially, this will cause a lot of troubles internally.
Yeah, I don't know. If there are no ambiguity, then probably why not? I mean,
oh my God! If Roman say yes, but the chat is saying no, so I guess this one was rejected. All right, dudes. This is a no, and I get you. Everyone needs to give their opinions, okay? All right, let's talk about multi-line short closures. And we go to your moonshots after this, okay? I'm almost done. So I want to ask you, like, the multi-line short closures, okay? Multi-line. What I'm doing? Multi-line. There we go. Yeah, this is correct. Yeah, multi-line. I'm going to do it like this. Multi-line short arrow functions. I like to call it multi-line short closures, though, because it's just more fun.
Yeah.
So this one is kind of basic, all right? ChatGPT is saying yes already. Is that a good sign?
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, Chad. So what I want to see is, like, basically, if we have like a repository like this, which is a user repository, okay, just like that. And then I want to fetch them all, but also like collect them. But I don't want to do this like with a simple arrow function, because basically I have more logic into it. So what I want to do is literally this. Like being able to, do my extra logic right here, and potentially at the end return, the users I want to actually return. Okay. So you were saying that you did some research about this RFC, and you were saying that, or did I read it correctly?
Yeah, exactly. So I wanted to bring it up, and I wanted to understand what were the reasons for people to vote in no, because for me it felt like obvious, like, but why? I mean,
yeah. So the
but
reason,
actually,
go for it. Sorry.
No, you go ahead. Yeah, actually, I was. No, you go ahead.
All right. So before we go, the chat is like is saying yes, no, 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 yes, no, yes, yes. So we have like a 50-50 here. Okay. So by the way, chat, we have one-line short closures. We just don't have multi-line short closures, which you probably would find in JavaScript, for example. Okay. Now we have a couple more yeses. So I feel it's like still a little bit controversial. So the reason why people rejected this, they actually rejected 2 times, I think, was so the second RFC fixed the problems of the first one, but it still didn't address the concern you were talking about, which is show me some projects that would leverage this, and show me show me like how this would affect existing projects, for example. And we didn't do that part. Yeah, because then life happens, and I had to do other stuff, and it just basically didn't look into it. But that was the reason why, because I feel like the maintainers wanted to see a little bit more about this. Like, okay, I understand you want multi-line short closures, probably makes sense, but how exactly this will, improve the lives of people in real code? So that was the reason.
So I think I did research. So I reached out to all the people who voted no, and I asked them like why they voted no. So I wanted to have like understand whether those concerns can be addressed. And one of the concerns is that currently with if you have like full syntax, like function. Just usual function, then you don't have capture of the scope.
Yeah.
So you have to like explicitly write use and the variables you want, and if you want them by reference, you need to add this ampersand symbol and so on. With short functions, you actually have this implicit scope capture by value. So and then if you have this short functions or short closures, but with multi-line, then you kind of have this implicit scope capture, and since it can now be a longer function, there is a possibility of some
which is
basically
the same can be said currently with arrow functions, to be fair, right?
Technically, yes, but
I also would expect the compiler to be smart enough to not implicitly include stuff that it doesn't need to be there. So my thinking is that not only people wanted to see a little bit more like how actually this will improve people's lives, but they also want to see like that they also wanted to see like, okay, something we need to understand is that with arrow functions, people were not doing too much by the limitation of being one line. With multi-line, people will possibly come here and do like, crazy stuff like multiple variables, variables that are with anonymous classes or whatever, like crazy shit like this. So potentially the problem of actually having a bunch of liquid references inside will be a little bit bigger than they expected. So, I get the reason why, because I mean, when people accept RFCs in PHP, all of this stuff needs to be clear as water. So that was clear for me.
Yeah. So I hope we can revive it, but I also see a lot of new RFCs that are super fun, and people we just need someone to drive this. If someone is like willing has free time to drive this initiative, I think it has potential, because it's definitely not like a desperate thing that, okay, everyone voted no chances it will pass. So it was 50-50. So I think it has chances with a little bit of resilience and patience.
You see, chat? Roman is just saying, if you guys have some free time, you can literally propose it RFC with the fixed points we have discussed, and we probably have a yes. And because we have a lot of yes recently, I'm going to say that this RFC was approved. All right. So next one is expression, no constant problem assignment. What is this? I don't even know anymore. What is this? I'm going to talk about, what time is it? It's like 1 hour. Okay, I'm going to talk about this one and then my native DD at the end.
Okay, yeah, I really want to hear about native DD.
You want to really?
Yeah.
I don't think you want. Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I want to talk about this one first. Expression is perimeter default value. Okay, so we have a class, call it person again. Okay. Imagine that we have, so now we have this very cool property promotion right here, which we can have something like protected, So something I have noticed though, which is if I have a service class right here, for example, and I want to create this service class, but I want to actually assign this to an expression, that's not possible. So it needs to be like static or whatever, you know what I mean? So if I want to do like a new, factory service and then potentially some extra code, this is not allowed at the moment. Jose Miguel just cheered with 20x. Thank you so much, dude, for your support, man. I really appreciate that. By the way, if you're watching me on YouTube, give me a follow there. Please give a like button if you want to see more content like this. If you're watching me on Twitch, give me a follow there as well. So basically today, Roman, it's not possible to use expressions here when you are creating new on property promotion. You know what I mean?
Well, yes, but you can use new in initializers.
Yeah, you can do new, but you cannot do stuff like potentially like this, for example. This is not possible.
Okay.
Start literally complaining.
Oh,
Expression is not allowed.
That you can. No, that you can do. Yeah.
All right, chat. Yes or no? Yes or no? I want to see that. I'm torn on this one, by the way. I don't know. I don't know if I want this. I don't know if I want this. I just find it funny. But there is a lot of room to, because potentially, all right, chat. Before saying yes or no, I'm going to just show you what the stuff you can do. You could potentially have a match statement here. Now it's becoming interesting, huh? You could have a match statement depending, for example, on the current env you are working on. Then you return like the fail service, the fake service, or the real one if you are in production. You guys seeing? Potentially there's a room to improve here. What do you guys think? What do you guys think, Roman? You don't know, right?
I don't know. I don't have strong opinion. Looks crazy. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. Just by the way, we haven't reached the constructor yet. We are still on the property promotion, which is.
Just imagine this, like this class with this crazy constructor with everything in the constructor.
Actually, what you're saying is that would be a crazy class with everything on the property promotion. In the construction will be empty, which will be kind of funny. Oh my God, the opinions are a little bit 50-50. Feels like we have a nah, we have a not sure, we have a yes, why not, we have no. Okay, no. Definitely the answer is no here. All right, yeah, I'm not sure if I want this. Still, I found it funny. All right, the last one before we go into your own ideas for PHP, I want to talk about the native PHP, okay? All right, you familiar with DD already, or?
Well, as far as I know, DD is short for dump and die. So basically what it does var dump and die.
A little bit more than var dump. Yeah, a little bit more than var dump. So initially, DD started by being this thing, literally. Literally this. But then is now using the Symfony var dumper behind the scenes to kind of give you a human verbose stuff on the console. You know what I mean? So if you var dump something like an object, for example, currently with die var dump, you will see like a kind of without colors. It won't be as pretty, probably won't be JCified or whatever. And with DD, because it uses a Symfony var dumper, the content of the console will be a little bit more pretty, more human readable. Let's say that. Okay. Well, there is that. There's the fact that it's pretty, which is undeniably true, chat. Okay. The second fact is just literally 2 characters. Okay, so just DD as a function. So my request, the RFC, is native PHP on native DD on PHP. What is your opinion, Roman? Chat, yes or no? What is your opinion, Roman?
Okay, I don't mind, but I'm also a big fan of real debugger, so Xdebug, for example.
Wait.
I'm sorry.
This is not a discussion about what is the best debugger.
Let me explain. Let me explain myself.
Go for it.
So what I'm saying is let's have both. Let's have DD and Xdebug or other debugger in core. That's what I'm saying. Then, because what I feel is like if you had the debugger in core, maybe you don't even need many times DD, because I find myself using DD because I'm just lazy to set up debugger. So I'm like, okay, I'm lazy to configure it. It doesn't work for some reason. Okay, I'll do DD real quick and just.
Roman, check the chat like real quick. Everyone is saying, "Oh my God, yes." It's just hilarious. By the way,
let's write RFC for DD. I'm convinced.
By the way, so it's just funny because I typically do not. I don't think DD is a debugger. Okay. I think people use DD for debug, which is a little bit different. But I don't think DD is a debugger. However, I feel like DD really shines. Just like console log shines in JavaScript.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's with console log. You really like have really good output, and yeah, that's
you
true.
you are literally like doing your PHP shenanigans, and what is this? Bam,
Okay.
DD right there, and it's done. It's like it really shines on the snappiness, on the easiness of literally seeing the contents of the given value. And the difference between today's existing var dump would be effectively it gives you a better output on the console, a pretty one. And if you look at JavaScript, actually today we have stuff like console info, console error. There is a bunch table. There is a bunch of stuff. It's really the snappiness. And I have to say that the chat approved this RFC hardcore.
Okay, I'm convinced.
You're convinced? All right, now we need to convince the actual PHP internal team to
I think
accept this.
one point would be like you can have it on in userland. You can add the package and do it with package. Why would you need
why would we end with that? Don't say that as the last sentence of this. But it's true.
What I'm trying to say is that will be the resistance you'll get. So you need to be prepared. If you want to make it in core, you just need to be prepared for this argument.
Yeah, you mean like have an answer ready, and I will.
And I think your point with console log is a perfect point. So it's because we are actually in a very competitive field right now with PHP and other languages, and if other languages give especially newcomers, new engineers, new young developers, they give them simplicity that PHP is not giving. We're losing. We're just losing.
You guys heard that. I'm gonna give you a very good argument. And the argument comes now with PHP 8.4. So PHP 8.4 introduces the regression, in my opinion, regarding the exit function, which now only accepts an integer. And then, so basically, if I want to do die var dump, just check what happens. I'm gonna do this, run this, and this literally happens. Oh, what am I doing? Okay, I have a bunch of code not supported. Wait. I'm gonna just remove all of this. It was literally like the code I just wrote, like with I'm gonna remove all of this. All right, here you go. So this is kind of what people would say that you can do with PHP. However, with PHP 8.4, literally the exit needs to be a regular string, So stuff like var dump, die var dump doesn't work anymore even. So now I have to do literally like this, 2 lines to actually die in var dump. And now I have the correct result. Yeah. Which sucks a little bit. So, if effectively DD just really shines here because it's literally 1 line, less characters, and let's see. But we got a maybe, so I think it was a good thing, and a lot of people in the chat were happy about this. So let's see, maybe we can create an RFC for this, and maybe it will be a good opportunity to have some of us here on the stream to literally contribute to PHP. But I want to hear about your PHP moonshots, Roman. What do you have in mind, like for the future of PHP? Things you would like to see personally, for example.
Okay, let me actually explain the idea of moonshots first. So. I'm trying to understand like what can we add or remove or change about the language then that can make language really shine and be relevant in the next 5-10 years. So for example, when we had the PHP 5.6 times, PHP was kind of like declining, and the future was uncertain. And then PHP 7 came out, and PHP 7 was like, I don't know, like 50% faster. It was just like a whole new thing. It didn't bring much of like syntax stuff, but it was so much faster that businesses were super happy about it.
Just a small 5 seconds in the middle. My improvement. I remember upgrading a PHP app from PHP 5.6 to PHP 7, and the performance on the production server increased by 30%. Just to give you the perspective.
Yeah,
but keep going. I apologize.
For free, for free. You don't do anything. You just switch the version. You don't update your application or anything. It's just for free. So, and then what I'm thinking. So just think about it. Like imagine tomorrow PHP has generics. Will that actually like change dramatically the field?
No. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So now I'm trying to think what are those things that can dramatically change. And one thing that I'm thinking is actually the performance. So how can we get performance? There are many ideas to how to get that. One of them, on my opinion, is having the compiler. So having ahead of time compiler, and then we can drop the type checks, and basically it will not be very convenient for like small websites, WordPress websites, or just small websites. It's just not convenient because it changes.
You're saying a real compiler, right?
Yeah.
Like Java or C# or C
Yeah,
or whatever.
like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there are some problems or technical challenges to achieve that, but it is in theory possible. Not even in theory; it's practically possible. And what I'm saying is that PHP has a real big advantage of this, having this simplicity of deployment, where you can just upload a PHP file to a server, edit it on the server, and it just works. But many bigger applications where the performance is actually crucial, they use Docker, they use like more complicated setups, and then they definitely can compile. And PHP, if you think about it, many of those big projects, they already have this compiler stage. So they actually have PHP stan, static analysis, stuff like that. It's in a way it's a compiler stage. And then also when someone mentioned that there is they said just preload the FAR. I'm not sure what they meant, but PHP already has this op cache. So technically, it's not even running on your production. It's not even running your PHP files. It's running these op cache files. So another improvement could be just pre-compiling cache files, and that will be a small thing. But I'm just saying that there is a route to this area. So this is one example. The other example would be to bring something like Swole in core. So Swole. So Swole is a async environment for PHP. So basically, it's a old project in a way that it's okay. I will change it old with mature. It's a very mature project, so it's developed because that's what it is. It's not old because it's very actively maintained, very actively developed. It's not old at all. It's actually
you're talking about like Swole or OpenSwole or
no,
just
both? Open, just Swole, because I can tell the difference, but the correct one is Swole. So if you go to Swole, it's a super cool project. It supports like these modern things that you might need for very fast or async things. So you can just and it also has all the advantages of PHP of that just having this very easy syntax with no like callback hell and everything. Is just super easy syntax. So they also they have like a super cool projects around them. So for example, if you search for PHP Py.
So you mean like within the Swole organization?
Yeah. They have it under Swole organization. So it's like a whole ecosystem of stuff.
Should I write PHP?
Y? Yeah, just one letter.
Oh, you mean this?
Yeah. So this thing. So this, for example, what they
apologize.
So what they build is like this is crazy. So you can with this thing you can run any Python code from PHP, and the crazy thing that it's actually faster than Python. So this is so this is crazy, right?
Did you guys heard this? Running Python within PHP is faster than running Python by itself.
Exactly, it's crazy. It's crazy, but it's true. I mean, it's not technically like fair, because Python has some other runtimes which are faster, but their generic runtime is this thing will be faster. So you can use this thing, for example, for if you need to use some kind of that's what they show in the examples. Transformers. So Transformers is this machine learning a library, and basically the whole ecosystem of machine learning and AI is now in Python, and you don't need to rewrite it. Everything you can just use these things to have interoperability interoperability and just use it from the PHP. So
Gotcha.
It's pretty cool. So what I'm trying to say that there are some cool things that we can bring in core, maybe just to increase awareness of these. That's what I'm thinking.
So by the way, I do agree with you. Like that, the fact sometimes when I'm explaining PHP to people, it's like, all right, let's see what is PHP, and they literally the first thing they do is like, okay, let's see PHP. Wait, what is this? Like, what is you know? They start with this stuff that nobody uses. Like, who uses this? Nobody. So I would love they would start immediately with some real PHP code that everyone writes in 2024. You know, either be on Laravel or Symfony or whatever, but like really code that people write, you know, like, you know, read-only classes and really like cool stuff, you know. And I feel like when they start, the first thing they do is just use this weird syntax that people do not use anymore. Like this kind of deal, you know, we probably still use it, but like it's like wrapped, you know, by some Symfony component or whatever. So I get what you feel. It's really bringing the awareness of PHP to the masses. Gotcha.
And regarding moonshots, what I wanted to say is that this is my opinion. This is not necessarily what PHP Foundation developers agree with. We are discussing this, but what I'm trying to say that when you try to suggest a feature, it's very easy to say generics. But what I'm trying to encourage you is just think a little bit more. Think what actually would like make PHP strive in the next years. Just think a little bit more and give me your like input, like give me your feedback. Send us everywhere.
So you guys heard Roman. If you guys have any feedback, you know, you guys really need to give this. So Roman, I'm going to tell you one feedback on this. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the feedback that we are fighting currently at Laravel, actively working on it. Is that we feel that we massively need to ramp up the first experience with PHP. You know what I mean? The first experience with PHP needs to be massively improved, not only on Laravel, but like Laravel, Symfony, PHP, everything, you know? So we need somehow find a way of translating that PHP, it's like modern, is fast, you can do pretty much everything you would do with JavaScript or Python or your Ruby. And for example, just looking, you know, you have heard this probably a million times, like the current PHP website is like, it's lacking, it's like 20 years old at the moment probably, and there is so much space to improve there, which my feedback for you would be, that would be my first priority, like day one next year, you know? So, potentially that would be my first action. If I were to give you feedback of things you should do to basically, as a PHP moonshot, would be have actually a good website on the PHP land. So actually hire very good people to literally design a website with a great user experience that drive. You have a tutorial, for example. I was just like 2 weeks ago learning Svelte, and their tutorial about Svelte is just amazing, you know? It gives you a very good tutorial that I was basically able to learn Svelte very quickly. And I feel like something for PHP would be very helpful is literally having this tutorial, but something really modern, like where people would like, where kids would like it, you know? You know what I mean? Black Skull, thank you for the subscription on Twitch. I really appreciate your support, dude. Thank you so much. What do you think about this idea of the website? You probably have heard this a little bit, right?
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally support it. So previously we had some we didn't have like a good way of the updating website, and also what was crazy for me is that PHP website doesn't mention anything at all like from the ecosystem. No Laravel, not even okay, but I get the thing about the frameworks, but it doesn't even mention Composer or PHP Unit, which were like, you know, it's not like there are, you know, other Composer in the PHP ecosystem.
Exactly. It needs to be like, you know, first page almost, you know.
Exactly.
So one idea would be like the basic tutorial, which would teach you, you know, functions, variables, like the very basic, but the real modern example, you know. And then it would be like the next step, you know, which would probably proxy to a framework potentially, you know, because the reality is that if you want to do web development, if you are not doing with the framework, you are actually creating one yourself. So I just learned this from Theo, his video on YouTube. Anyways, this is actually reality. Like if you are not using a framework, you are literally making one. So there is a lot of space to improve there. Let me know if you think that personally that I or someone can know, people or things, or put some work into this, because I would be willing to, either help or give input on this.
Okay.
Because I feel
I actually can, I have like call to action. Or actually, let me show you. Let me actually, I complained a little bit, but I want to, actually tell about two good things. So first thing, there was an RFC about including marketing materials on the PHP.NET website and mentioning ecosystem things. And this RFC already passed. So these things now going to change. So we're actually going to mention Composer and other things.
Let's go, Shad.
Yeah.
Let's go,
At
Shad.
least we're now allowed to do that. And the marketing part means that we actually can do some kind of, more interesting stuff on PHP.NET. The other thing that already is now implemented is analytics for the website. So finally we have analytics, so we know who is actually the audience of the website, what they are looking for, what and I can show you that mostly people look for all the same stuff, like download PHP or install PHP or PHP string some function, I don't know. And we actually know what to optimize first, how to prioritize things. And on top of that, Hank from Laravel, Hank, the marketing director of Laravel, and Matt Stoffer, and I and Sergey, we actually started working on one landing page, which is it will be like more like a marketing experiment, and the page will be why use PHP. So it I mean, it's at an early stage, I would say. You can check if you go to.
Oh boy, I'm gonna check right now.
Yeah, if you go to, as I said, it's very like modest draft for now. But if you go to GitHub repository of a PHP website, so PHP website is open source, so actually anyone can go and contribute.
Can you put the link on the chat so I just copy paste?
Sure. Yeah.
Dude, I'm like streaming, sharing my entire screen. This scares the shit out of me. Because if I'm sharing the entire screen, basically I can, leak pull requests or whatever. So that's why I like have the entire. I like to have the entire link so I can just copy paste and ensure I do not navigate too much on the GitHub.
Yeah. Okay.
Because GitHub, I don't know if you noticed, but GitHub UI actually leaks a lot of stuff on the UI. You have literally tabs open which will contain pull request titles and things like that. So so I'm on this web-php. Do you want to go?
This is the repository of the PHP website. The code base is quite old, but it's actually also the good thing is that it's very easy to grasp how it works. So if you go to pull requests,
there we go.
If you go to pull requests, there is a draft. There should be
this one.
This one. So this is draft pull request. It's still like working, but there is a preview. So if you go to on the top, the very first,
this one?
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready? I want to know your immediate reactions to this draft of the new site of PHP. If you like it, put yes. If you don't, put no.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, looks a little bit better, I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, again, as I said, there's not like much design in it. It's more like a structure, and we're still working on it. We have a lot of feedback from Hank and Matt to address, and it has a lot of WordPress logos. But as I said, it's work in progress. So I would really appreciate any help. If you want to just comment, just throw your ideas, just critiques, just whatever. Like all suggestions are very welcome. Just go to this pull request and tell us what you think. As I said, it's a really modest for now attempt, but it's like we're working. So I hope next year. Oh wait. What I wanted to say, actually, next year, did you know, like next year, PHP will turn 30 years old. So PHP will have 30 years anniversary. And
I had no idea.
This is the occasion we need to update the PHP website. This is like, because that's PHP's 30 years. Let's do a revamp. Let's do a new, new
So
stuff.
I'm going to put my feedback on the pull request. My immediate reaction is, the snapshot is well chosen, in terms of the code actually is going here. At least shows a little bit more than we had in the past, and looks a little bit like modern syntax that I personally would use. Regarding the taste of the design itself, I feel that probably you know, a
Okay, be
designer.
honest. Just tell me.
Yeah, I'm trying to choose my words. I think
Yeah, no,
a
just throw it.
designer, like a designer, would probably have, you know, some opinions on this.
Mhm.
Okay, probably. I don't know if
That's
you're
a
working with
nicely,
designer
nicely,
already.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if
No,
you have a designer already working on this, but
no,
I
no,
feel
no, no.
you don't. Okay, so I feel like a real designer would probably have a lot of input on this, because it feels better than what it used to have. But I mean, like if you compare this with, you know, like a website like let's see, like Next or Remix, or you know, still feels like a little bit outdated, if you know what I mean. By so
Yeah, yeah.
stuff there is a lot of stuff to, you know, there's stuff to improve. It's looking
Mhm.
better for sure. You know, so any progress for me looks okay. By the way.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair comment. I'm not saying it's the design is definitely so. What the idea was like, okay, let's start this draft. Let's get moving.
Yeah,
Then we
because something
can
we need to
update
think,
it.
something you guys probably, yeah, you guys need to think about is that there is a lot of existing stuff. So,
Mhm.
you know, so I believe that some of the concerns of this existing website is that there's a lot of existing stuff that still needs to be reused. You know, it's not like you guys can simply start from scratch because, you know, who is writing a lot of the documentation existingly. So
Mhm.
I get what you mean. Yeah.
Well, I think with this specific page we are more free because it's a separate page. We can actually redesign it better. But
Yeah.
yeah, we still need to use the infrastructure of the existing website.
Yeah,
Probably.
if we can do whatever we want here, is literally just CSS and HTML.
Yeah.
I would seriously just deliver this to a designer on Twitter, and I do feel that he would give this a more modern
Mhm.
coloring, you know. And I also understand that for the whole people, this might seem too colorish. But the kids
Mhm.
these days, they like to see colors. They
Yeah.
like to see, you know, all different things and transactions, and you know, so potentially there's space to improve here. It does look better than what we had before, by the way. Okay. Oh, there is someone on the chat asking, "How can I help with the design?" So I'm gonna send the repo to the chat so everyone can basically jump into it and potentially make suggestions how to improve things, and you know, potentially people can basically give their opinions on this. So yeah, sorry for, you know, my reaction didn't went
Mhm.
probably as expected, but you know, I cannot
No,
fake it.
no.
I cannot fake it.
Man, I mean, I wanted to lower your expectation from this page because I knew that it's still dropped. I expected you to have this, but and it means a lot. I mean, we need honest opinion because we are not like trying to fool anyone here. We're trying to help. So if it's
Gotcha.
not, yeah, let's make it better for sure.
Yeah, people in the chat are saying, "Oh, it's an improvement actually over what we had before," and it is indeed an improvement. You know, there is a lot of space to improve. We can improve on existing improvements, and that's already fine. And I want to ask you something, Roman. I've seen your talk at Laracon EU, and you
Mhm.
mentioned something like a better PHP installer, which I also think comes in the same wave of improving the
Yeah.
experience to newcomers. So, regarding this new, better PHP installer, do you see any possibility of a collaboration with something like Herd or whatever?
I don't know really. So I saw this php.new website and I really liked it. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's a great idea. So it's based on static PHP. It has some, I think, things that not mentioned. Like it looks like a official PHP project, uh, and uh, and it
Oh,
could be an official PHP project. I think it's a nice idea. I think the problem with this is that this will you will have to upgrade this PHP yourself. And if, for example, the PHP version
oh,
that you installed like this, it has security issues, it will not be updated by your operation system. You'll have to do it yourself. And I
mm.
also feel like this doesn't mention that this is not production ready. And this is definitely not a production thing. You should use it for only for development purposes, but not for production.
It is
But
kind of crazy though that you can simply run a command and you get PHP Composer in Laravel in the terminal. That's
yeah,
kind of cool though.
exactly. Yeah, that's exactly I think what should be there. Like if you go check, that was my like biggest concern. Like if you go check Golang or Rust or whatever modern language,
Hmm.
you can install that language with like one click. Yeah, you just go to download, and you can download basically installer for any system. And it's like, imagine if you're a new developer, or just you don't.
Just to understand, do
No
you personally like this, like downloading something and install it, or you personally prefer something like running something on a console?
I think, I mean, okay, if I'm not like if I'm a new developer, I think I like downloading more, because I want something like simple. But what I'm trying to say, even if it's one command to run on your console, this is also fine. What I'm trying to say, that it should be like one step.
Gotcha.
Not like whatever, if it's downloading or just command, both are fine, but just one step. No. But if you go to PHP website right now, there is better right now. The download section is now better. Yeah, so at least it mentions this install PHP, or it mentions binaries, but it also has this source code section, which I don't know if anyone cares about the PHP source code.
I don't think I would be able to install PHP with this.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're lost at this. I mean, it mentions, you can click install PHP, or you can go to somewhere, but I think you still, it's a little bit, not a little bit, but it's hassle. You need to do something actively.
Absolutely.
So, and what I liked about what Taylor said during Laracon US, do you remember when he showcased, what was he showing? I think it was Laravel Cloud. No, I think it was Cloud.
Oh, Cloud, yeah.
So, but what he said is that the developer experience expectations change. So people are now like, if it's not one click, they're gone. You lost them.
Yeah, you lost their attention. That's for sure. Yeah, that's true.
And I mean, this first touch experience is right now is not good at all. So I even experimented myself. So I wrote this small like PHP app experiment. Let me show you. I'll post the link. It's
by the way, meanwhile, while Roman is posting the link, if you guys don't know me, if you just arrived, my name is Nuno Maduro. I'm a PHP Laravel developer. Today I'm on a company of Roman, part of the PHP Foundation. We're talking about PHP and how PHP can be better as a language. If you're watching me on YouTube, please give me a follow and a like there. That really appreciate, and really helps my live streams. If you watching me on Twitch, also give me a follow there as well. If you watch me on X, switch to YouTube or Twitch. So I'm going to open here this project by Roman on my Safari.
Okay, so this project, it was inspired by Rust Up. So
I'm such a fan of Rust Up. It just works so good, man. Oh my god.
Yeah. So this was, I mean, the idea was inspired. The interface is not as Rust Up, but the idea is that you have one binary that you can download for any system, basically Mac OS or Linux or Windows. It's just a binary. You don't need PHP. You don't need to have PHP on your system. And then you can use this PHP app to install any PHP version on your system. It already comes with Composer, so you can actually run any Composer package or anything. So, I mean, the it's like a proof of concept implementation, but it already works. It's quite simple, and So idea was that you could, with this, you could install PHP per project easily, because it can just figure out the requirements of your project based on your Composer and so on, and install PHP for your thing, or just on your system. So that was my idea. So I think I think it will be very beneficial for PHP project to have something like that, like an official way of installing. Maybe not. Yeah, not okay. I'm not like trying to say that this is PHP app is the best thing, but let's have something. That's what I'm saying. So let's do the basically improved developer experience. As you said, like this first touch experience is just currently it's not good. Like other competitors, they just win in this massively.
Massively, yep. Yeah, you mentioned, I don't know if you have any other moonshot that you would like to talk, but from the four you mentioned like four main ones. You mentioned the compiler, you mentioned Swole in the core, or other kind of tools that are massively used. You mentioned as well improve the website, that mentions packages, frameworks and whatever in the tutorial. And the fourth one you mentioned was a better PHP installer. I definitely think the third and the fourth one are like way more important than the other two.
Okay.
Literally a website. I think a website that actually is good is a very quick win. It's a no-brainer quick win where you basically talk with the designer who is like very good, not only designing but also as with the UX experience, and then you have someone doing Tailwind, which you can find anywhere in the community and probably would do that for free, and you can basically just improve massively the very first. Okay, what is PHP? Bam, is this amazing website that looks like, shiny colors, transitions, looks like very modern. Someone looks like any kid on JavaScript would use personally, So then the first thing they do is basically, follow the tutorial, and they probably want to follow the tutorial in their own console. So they need to install PHP. They run one command, rust up or whatever it is, PHP up or whatever it is, and they get PHP installed super fast. And then the next logical step would be proxy them to a framework, and probably talk with framework leaders, Taylor, someone from Symfony, and kind of have a dedicated page from people who just jumped from that tutorial, so they can continue the story on the framework itself. So something like, you just learn how to do PHP, you learn what is Composer, you just learn what is whatever. Now it's like, the next step, which is using a framework. First step, you type this. Second step, you type that. Then you create your first route, blah, 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 blah. So I definitely feel like this 34th point of website and PHP installers should be the focus number one of next year on PHP Foundation. One of the focus. Yeah. I believe you have a lot of things to think about, but, at least of priorities, I feel like this is super important.
I think I'm convinced. I agree with you. I think Roman, this is the base thing that we need to do.
Yeah, Roman, it was a truly pleasure to have you here today on stream, man. So I want to personally thank you so much for coming. You still there, by the way? Just lost you for a second. Oh my God, we lost Roman. Did we lose Roman, or I did lose the stream? All right, guys, can you still listen to me? Say yes on the chat if you can still listen to me. Oh, Roman is back. You still back, Roman?
I'm back.
You're back. Yeah. I apologize. Yeah, I was just saying that it was truly a pleasure to have you here on stream, Roman. We are like 1 hour and 30 minutes in. I could be here all day, to be honest, but it was a truly fun discussion. It was a truly pleasure to have you here, and thank you so much for your time, man.
Thank you, Nuno. Thanks for having me, and I really like the stream. I enjoyed it very much. Yeah. I think it was very. I think I like the outcomes. Improve the website. Let's do it.
I mean, live streams are fun because of this, because they are insanely informal, and I feel like I don't have to, be picky my words because it's a video or whatever. I can simply say whatever I want to. And, the people on the chat, they just know that this is like insanely informal, and we are discussing like we were on the regular pub, except we don't have beer, we have water, and we have an amazing chat speaking with us and watching us as well. Everyone on the chat is saying, thank you, Roman. So, I'm going to clap by everyone in the chat to Roman, because your insights today were truly awesome. So thank you so much, Roman.
Thank you, folks, for having me. Thanks, everyone on chat. I appreciate all the questions, all the comments. I appreciate it. Thank you, folks.
Roman, can you give me your social media, please, so I can share on the chat, so everyone who doesn't know you on Twitter or whatever can just follow you there? Is still Twitter your thing, or you just switch to whatever is next?
Yeah, no, Twitter is still my thing. I'm trying to switch to other things, but I'm still on Twitter. And it's my last name on anywhere, basically. So it's Twitter, Pronsky, but everywhere else it's the same, my last name. So just...
Gotcha. Thank you so much, Roman. And if you want, someday to come back to the stream to talk about other things or about the same thing, you are always welcome, okay?
Thank you. I would love to. Thank you so much, Nuno.
All right, dude. Catch you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Wow, Shad. Wow, Shad. That was so cool, man. What do you guys thought about today's live stream? Oh, my God. It was so funny, man. Absolutely loved to have Roman today here on the live stream. He was an awesome dude, you know, and the discussions were just awesome, man. We were speaking about PHP internal features and what we want to see in the future and what to do to improve PHP. I was sweating of excitement, man. Just so cool. All right, dudes, before we go, I have exciting news. Okay, I have exciting news myself, okay? Tomorrow, we are doing something really cool. You guys know Aaron Francis. You probably know Aaron Francis, right? So we are not yet having Aaron Francis on stream. However, we are going to explore solo his package. Okay, so we are exploring the solo package from Aaron Francis and tomorrow on stream, and I think will be a very fun live stream. So count on you all to coming tomorrow to speak about that. So I want to see what is solo, how is solo is coded, how I can use solo, and literally just discover this package on the live stream. And depending on how much time it takes, we may do other stuff on the live stream as well. Okay. But today's live stream was so cool, man. He is a very cool dude, a very interesting dude as well, a very knowledgeable dude as well. And I feel like I learned a bunch with him. So super happy to have him, you know, Roman with us today. And tomorrow live stream is about Aaron Francis, his solo package. So, and you know, potentially in the future, we are going to have Aaron. I would love to have Aaron on stream. Let's see if, you know, we can find some available time on his tidy schedule to have him on stream. Yeah, I'll do my best, dude. All right, folks, today was an awesome live stream. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Let's find someone to raid on Twitch. By the way, if you are watching me from YouTube, give me a like. Don't forget about that. Something I always do in the, you know, every time I end the stream is that I like to raid someone. So raiding on Twitch is basically redirecting all my viewers to another live stream, you know, and potentially you can find someone either doing JavaScript or PHP, and, you know, we can raid someone. All right, let's go here to, you know, the chat and try to find someone from the software game development category, which we can raid. If you guys know anyone, let me know. That was worth watching. Yeah, I also love the stream, man. That was so fun. All right, I see someone here doing... Is this JavaScript? I don't even know. Thank you for coming, man. Transcend Code, that was a very fun live stream. Thank you so much for coming, by the way. Goofball Guinness, thank you so much for coming as well, man. That was a very fun live stream. Okay, do we have anyone doing JavaScript or PHP? Oh my god. We have people doing game development. What else do we have? Okay, Jonas is saying, raid the Paul Crease Luke guy. Who is Paul Crease Luke? Let me see. Ba-ba-boo, ba-ba-boo. All right, let me try that. Paul Crease Luke. Okay, I don't know who he is. Oh, he's doing Laravel. Okay, this will be fun. This guy is doing Laravel. Okay, we are going to rate someone doing Laravel, and he has like 4 viewers. Oh my god, this will be so fun. Oh my god, this will be so fun. All right, dudes, I love you so much. Thank you so much for coming to the stream. I see you all tomorrow. I'm going to rate the guy right now. See you all tomorrow. Peace out.